Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well as we get into the inevitable news. It was inevitable. We all knew this day would come, let's be honest. And to be fair, we all expected it would come pretty soon. But what I will say is Fabrizio, he managed to release this news just as I was uploading my last video from earlier on. But thankfully, we do double uploads on here. So as much as he might want to claim a 94th minute winner, well, guess what? I've just equalised with a 97th minute equaliser. So, yeah. As long as there's no news now until tomorrow, we're in the clear. Guys, I always get done. Every single time I upload, minutes later, breaking news, big breaking news. We got a massive here we go. We got a massive Ornstein dagger. We got flipping gunshots everywhere. We got all sorts. And I'm left in the dust. But that's why we got double uploads. So anyway, well, knowing my luck, I'm going to upload this. And then I'm going to get big fat news on, I don't know, Liverpool have a deal with Rodrygo. We've got news on that. Wait until the end. But anyway, check out video number 1 from earlier on. If you didn't catch that already, big Chelsea video. So make sure you're going to have a look in relation to Javi Simmons. We mentioned Jackson. We mentioned Sterling. We mentioned a few others. We've got some updates. So stay tuned till the end. But to start off with, we have to, because it's huge, start off at the Emirates. And it's Arsenal and it's Gyokeres. Breaking, Victor Gyokeres to Arsenal. Here we go. Verbal agreement in place between all parties involved. Sporting accept last bid from Arsenal for 63.5 million euros plus 10 million euros. Agent will reduce his commission. Gyokeres will sign 5-year deal at Arsenal. He only wanted Arsenal. And we also have David Ornstein with the exclusive. Arsenal and Sporting Lisbon on verge of total agreement for Victor Gyokeres. 63.5 million euros plus 10 million euros already struck. But add-ons needed work. Now finishing touches. Conclusion imminent. Sporting striker wanted Arsenal only. 5-year contract ready. So, it's done. It's officially done. All of this, Matt, we're going to see a lot of this, by the way. Just saying. Loads of Arsenal fans next season are going to be walking to their stadium, walking like this. How you doing, mate? You're good, yeah. Oh, I can't wait for this one. Flip it out. You get to see this Gyokeres guy. You're going to be walking around like a bunch of Banes. Like, it's going to be hilarious. But, look, I will give credit. It's a great signing. Arsenal, you've pulled one out of the bag here. You've actually pulled one out of the bag. And, look, we've been expecting this for a little while now. Since we did hear that Gyokeres only wanted Arsenal and no one else was really in contention for him, which I want to ask why. You know, Man United had an opportunity to sign him, but I can totally understand why he chose Arsenal first. Anyone else? Did anyone else really attempt or go in for him? It really feels like Arsenal just had a clear pathway to Gyokeres. The coast was clear. There wasn't a massive bidding war. I thought Gyokeres would be hot property. But Arsenal have done it. And for a good price, I got to be honest, 63.5 million euros comes to about 55 million pounds, 55, somewhere in between there. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all for Gyokeres. I have to be real and say that I think for Arsenal, this will translate into goals. Arsenal have always needed a number 9, a proper number 9, and now they've only gone and bloody got one. I would say the link up between Saka, whoever's going to be on that left-hand side, and hold the phone because there's news about Arsenal, and Gyokeres, plus in behind, they've got options now. Hazard no longer needs to play up top. Hazard, God forbid he played for Arsenal. God forbid. No chance. Havertz. Flipping Eden Hazard. No, hell no. No, Eden Hazard was dunking on Arsenal, yeah? That was the way that he called his time at Chelsea was by going to Baku and destroying them single-handedly. So, yeah, leave Hazard out of this conversation, Younes. What are you doing? Havertz can now tuck him, play as his 8, or as an attacking midfielder, wherever he wants to play, maybe for or alongside Odegaard. That is something that can now be worked on. What I will say, Arteta, you've got no excuses now. Yeah, you've been dangling about, waiting for whatever you've been waiting for. You've spent 5 years just chilling without any competition or whatnot, trying to go for the Premier League titles, always fumbling and nothing to show for it. But with signings like this, you have to deliver. If you don't deliver this coming season, you're finished. Simple as that. And for me, and I think for many others, we're already looking at Arteta going, yeah, he's already cooked. But there's actually no excuses. Even the Arsenal fans will agree here and go, no, there's no excuse. No excuse. My input into this, what I want to say, he left it too little too late. This is the sort of business, now obviously respectfully, Gyokeres has only really just become available. But when you're looking prior, when you're looking at what the business should have been done by Arsenal, it should have been done maybe 3 years ago. You know, to go and get a proper number 9, to go and sort out the holes that are in the team, to actually get the team into contention for properly winning the Premier League title, because every time it looked like they were going to do it, they just fumbled, and they shouldn't have. They really shouldn't have. They're heading into next season. It's going to be the hardest one. Liverpool, you see how Liverpool are upgrading. Man City have already basically transformed their team. They've already transitioned, right? And we'll see how they do. There's question marks on City, but we'll see how they do. Chelsea are back on track now, it's looking like. So now you're getting a good Chelsea, not a dodgy Chelsea finishing mid-table. You're getting a good Chelsea now. You're getting the world champions Chelsea showing up. Tottenham, I don't know where they're going, I'll be honest. Tottenham are baffling me at the moment, and you'll see why at the end of this video. Who else? But there are big teams now there. I'm not going to say United, so any United fans don't wait for that. It's not happening. So look, Gyokeres will be a good addition for Arsenal. He will get them goals, 100%. Is it enough? Well, according to Fabrizio, Arsenal are not done on the market. I've got to ask one question then. Is that Eze? Could be Eze. So what Arsenal's front line could end up looking like? Saka / Madueke. Eze / Madueke / Martinelli. Havertz, Odegaard, and up top, Victor Gyokeres. That sounds good. But I'll be honest, does sound good. That is definitely deadly. To a good extent, that is deadly. So we'll see how it's going to go down. But now Arsenal are doing good business, and we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts. Now, over to Chelsea. What's the latest? Javi Simmons is the talk of the town. So here it is. We've got from Florian Plettenberg saying Javi Simmons will travel with RB Leipzig to their training camp in... Bloody hell, how do you say that? Donaueschingen tomorrow. Today, he did not train with the team due to load management. As of this afternoon, there have been no club-to-club contact with Chelsea, Arsenal or Bayern. Leipzig demand at least 70 million euros all in. We already know this. Now, let me show you more. Fabrizio's gone, Chelsea are really pushing for Javi Simmons. And we also have news about other things going on with Chelsea at the moment. I'm about to show you. But Javi Simmons, we'll give this a little bit of time. I actually don't know if this one's going to be done prior to selling Nkunku and or Jackson, or is this going to be done regardless? I'd like to hope it gets done regardless. And I think the whole Jackson saga is around someone else, not Javi Simmons. And I'm going to tell you what I think in a bit, because there's one point that doesn't really make much sense, but I'm going to tell you. Javi Simmons, though, I think we might see things align. where as soon as Javi Simmons comes in and Kunku heads out the door. Time will tell. But anyway, Javi Simmons, big Chelsea target. Chelsea will move. Seems like we'll sort everything out with the player first, and then we'll get everything done with Leipzig. Fingers crossed this is something that happens. And you know what? Gyokeres stuff today at Arsenal, and I've got to be honest, I banter and I joke with Arsenal a lot. But what I will say is they've made a top signing that I'm sure is going to alert a few other clubs in the Premier League. You know, Liverpool will now step up their game. Chelsea will step up their game. I think it's you have to. You have to. When you see teams doing this sort of business, you need to look at yourself and go, okay, am I well equipped? Because that's a dangerous one. And without question, Gyokeres to Arsenal is a dangerous one. So if we get Javi Simmons over the line, it will, at least psychologically, turn the transfer market back in our favour, where, you know, people will be looking at Chelsea and going, oh, wow, they're serious as well. We need to get that business done. We've done good business so far. We need to continue. Javi Simmons is definitely a welcome addition and someone that I think would smash it. So let's see how this one's going to pan out. What else I would say is what I'm about to show you. Here it is. Chelsea have offered Nicholas Jackson to Manchester United. The Blues appreciate Alejandro Garnacho and they are open to discussing conditions of a swap deal involving Nicholas Jackson. We have more. Jackson priority. Stay and fight for place at Chelsea. If that's not possible, he'd be keen on a move to United. On top of this, we've got sources reveal that in recent days, Man United have been approached with the opportunity to proceed and start talks for Nicholas Jackson. Chelsea have opened their doors to United. So, interesting one. And we also have Chelsea still maintain an interest in Alejandro Garnacho as an option in case Man United want to open a proper negotiation for Nicholas Jackson. Chelsea will be open to doing a type of swap deal. This one doesn't really make sense for me, I'll be honest. I've already said what I think on Garnacho individually, but to swap Jackson with Garnacho and we're getting Javi Simmons, how does that work? Because now on the left-hand side, we'd have Gittins, Simmons, Garnacho. There's no point. Actually, no point. And if you're swapping Jackson for Garnacho, then can Garnacho at least play up front? No. Javi Simmons is better suited to play up front than Garnacho, and Javi Simmons doesn't play up front. Morgan Rogers has played up front. At least a bit. So this is where it doesn't add up for me. Because let me tell you now, Javi Simmons is a player that we would absolutely need. If you're saying, look, are you taking Garnacho or Javi Simmons? Javi Simmons. Who are you taking, Morgan Rogers or Garnacho? Morgan Rogers. Who are you taking, Javi Simmons or Morgan Rogers? A tough one. But I'll be honest, I reckon I'm leaning more towards Javi Simmons. However, Garnacho, if we get Garnacho, that tells me we might not get Javi Simmons. And I'll be honest, if you're now giving me the choice, no, I'm sorry, Javi Simmons all day long. So that doesn't really add up for me. I would just like straight cash, please, for Manchester United if they did want Nicholas Jackson. Now, what we've also seen here is that Nicholas Jackson wants to fight for his place. If that's not possible, then he'd be open to a move. And you know what? That's fair. From him, that's fair. If he actually wants to stay and fight for his place, because now he's basically third choice, right? Then, fair enough. Personally, do I think it will make a difference on Nico Jackson? Maybe mentally, yes. But in terms of his ability, no, I don't think so. I think we've seen what we can get from Nico Jackson. I don't expect now, just because there's competition, that he's now going to know how to put the ball in the net. That's my whole thing is that. Because we know Jackson's not a bad footballer. We know this. But you're a striker. I would rather you had no traits, but you can score, or you know how to finish, than to have all the traits and you don't know how to finish. Easily. But because there's competition now, is he overnight just going to... I don't think so. Some people have that belief, and each to their own. Each to their own. I'm not telling you how to think. Some people reckon, yes, that's the case. There's competition now. He'll step up. He'll step up because he has to, because he's forced. And you know what? To be fair to Jackson, you see the situation he's in now? That's how it should have been from the beginning. He should never have led the line for Chelsea. That is somewhere where I've said it before and I will protect him on that. He should never have been the number one striker at Chelsea. Never. He should have always been an option, which is what he is now. But because what we've seen for the last 2 years, it's like we've seen what we're going to get. You know, it's not something that we're trying to discover now. But if he wants to fight and stay and fight for his place, fair enough. Fair enough. But you're gonna have to pull off a little bit of a miracle here, mate. I'll be honest. However, if he were to go to United, like I said, I'm genuinely not concerned. But to do it for Garnacho, especially if we're getting Javi Simmons, I'm a bit confused on that one. Unless Garnacho is a right winger option, which he's not normally. He's normally a left winger. Now, if he's a right winger, maybe, because we only got Pedro Neto there. Esteval Willian is also an option, but Esteval Willian will be rotating or competing for the number 10 spot with Cole Palmer. Not to say that he will compete, that's the wrong word, because Cole Palmer's not getting dropped. But Esteval Willian will be used in that role, not so much on the right-hand side, according to what we've heard and what we know. So that's something to bear in mind. Maybe Garnacho is used as a right winger instead. We'll see. Javi Simmons will not be used as a right winger. He can play, but he's not going to be used there. So Garnacho, questions. I don't know. Now, I want to show you something about Nico Jackson. This is one thing that I actually really like about Nico Jackson. Yeah, really like about it. Check this out. So, he's back in his home village, his hometown in Senegal. And looks like he's just spending time there, really. Doing some fitness over there, but he's back at home. And greeting all the locals and greeting everyone that I'm sure many people that he knows from before and all sorts. But one thing about Nico, he never, I think every year he's always going back home. Or wherever he can, he always does go back. And I love that. And that is I mean, I can't speak for others, but I know when it comes to Africans have that trait. You know, there's always that connection to the homeland. Always. And Nico Jackson does a very good job at upholding that. And I think giving back to his community, to his roots, to where he's from, to his bloodline, he's got that in him. And I like that. I really, really like that. So big up to Nico Jackson on that. I hope he has a good time out there. And I hope all goes well back at home. So for him, about that, respect. So that's Nico Jackson. Raheem Sterling. Do you remember earlier on I was asking what club? Yeah? Go check out video number 1 if you didn't already. I have an answer. Bayer Leverkusen are among the clubs monitoring Raheem Sterling. You know, Bayer Leverkusen, you know I always liked you. Always. I always liked you. You're a good club. You're a very good club. Very. I might have to buy a Bayer Leverkusen. If you get Raheem Sterling, Bayer Leverkusen, yeah, I'm going to extend this offer to you. If you get Raheem Sterling, I will purchase a Bayer Leverkusen. How's that? Sounds bizarre, but absolutely deserved. Here's more. Bayer Leverkusen are monitoring Raheem Sterling's situation at Chelsea. This is from the BBC, Sami Mokbel. Beautiful. Listen, Raheem Sterling, Bayer Leverkusen, he's a great player. Yeah. Very impactful winger. I don't want to lie to you because you guys seem like nice guys. What I will say is he's not as quick as he used to be, perhaps, but he's still quick enough. And you're in the Bundesliga, so, you know, it's a bit easier. Don't worry. He'll look like an absolute Premier League baller in your league. So, absolute. You know, he's got vast experience. Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. Look at what you're bringing to Bayer Leverkusen, lads. I mean, you know, that is a phenomenal deal. Phenomenal. Listen, like I said, I'll be first in line to buy a shirt if you get this player on your books. Please. Anyway, that's Bayer Leverkusen wanting Raheem Sterling. Respect Bayer Leverkusen. Now, big things happening elsewhere as well. Here's latest at Atletico. Atletico Madrid are close to finalising the signing of Renato Vega from Chelsea. Only minor details remain. The strong relationship with Chelsea has been key. Yes, indeed, we do have a strong relationship. We do. We you know, they gave us Felix. We gave them Gallagher. We gave them Aspi, kind of. Yeah, very good, very good. Did Torres come from there as well? No. We sent Torres to there, didn't we? We got him from Liverpool, the busted knee. But Torres forgiven. I always said this. That goal at Barcelona, one of my favorite all-time goals. Fernando Torres is a legend. I don't want to hear any slander on his name. And so, Renato Vega looking like he's heading out the door. Like I said in video number 1, straight after this, I would expect Hato to Chelsea to be a thing. So, we'll keep our eyes on that one. But Vega looking like he's heading out the door. I want to show you something that's just come out. Here it is. Exclusive. First look at the official colours of the Chelsea 26-27 home kit. Here it is. So, I got to say, that looks good. That looks like a proper Chelsea colour scheme. And there's one thing to notice here. When you look at, you see that white line? That tells you, I think, how at least the initial design is going to feature in terms of how much blue, how much yellow, and how much white. Very subtle. But this is a very, very good colour scheme. It's very Chelsea. Blue and yellow. It's very 90s Chelsea. Yeah, we had a lot of yellow on our kit back then. But with the blue. So I'm all for this. I think if this is done right, this could bang. If it's done right. Nike need to keep this as simple as possible. I stress this. Just keep the design as simple as possible. Please. Please. That looks good. I'm getting 97-98 auto glass vibes from that color scheme. And the subtle white. We had a lot of yellow, like I said, and we had subtle whites on that kit. Go and look at it. I'm getting that sort of vibe. And if we're going down that route, I reckon it could bang. Let's hope. Let me know your thoughts. Now, Rodrigo. Big things. Liverpool are closely monitoring the situation of Rodrigo as he is one of the candidates for Liverpool in case Luis Diaz leaves Liverpool. Informed about conditions and current status. Real Madrid would be open to selling him. Rodrigo is aware of this and the market is being explored. However, the package would be very expensive. The 24-year-old is reportedly already earning up to 10 million euros net per year. That's a problem. I will say that is an issue. 10 million euros net. Bloody hell. If we're going to go 10 million. Oh man, that's 200k net. Well, it's 192,000 euros net. That's a lot of money. 192,000 a week. Probably looking at about 170,000 pounds a week net, which would mean that we're looking around maybe 350,000 pounds gross. Ouch. Ouch. But that's not the biggest story. You want to know what is? This. According to Eduardo Burgos, Tottenham Hotspur are now in the race to sign Rodrigo. Yeah, and I'm in the race to become the Prime Minister. Yeah, I announce it here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I am officially in the race to become Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Yes, I will be fighting Labour, Conservative, Reform, Green, Brown, Pink, Blue, Red, White, whatever you want to call it, mate. I'm there. Yeah? Listen, I've got Eduardo Burgos, mate. If you're going to, you know, come out with something, then at least make it believable, mate. Unless you got a call from someone at Tottenham, they're probably drunk. They're probably having a bender right now. Wait till the morning to clarify that information when they wake up with a hangover. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Because there's absolutely no way. There's no way. Unless the biggest thing has gone down at Tottenham, Daniel Levy has woken up from a coma and he's gone, you know what, we're going to start running ourselves like a big football club. And he actually means it. But I reckon pigs will fly before we see that day. So Tottenham, Rodrigo, are they really gonna pay 350k a week? That's what he's on at the moment. So you're gonna want to offer him more, 400k a week. Can you do that? Listen, Tottenham, if you can do that, by all means, good luck to you, lads. Good luck to you, lads. I don't think you can. You're going to need to, generate a lot more concert revenue and NFL games in order to get that one done. But Liverpool look like they're serious, and Liverpool have already shown that they can pay big salaries if necessary. They can. We've seen what they're doing with Van Dijk. We've seen what they're doing with Wirtz when they brought him in. They are capable, but it's a bloody lot of money. And I got to ask, where is this coming from? You've got Wirtz, you've got Ekitike. Now you're getting Rodrigo. And you've already signed up like Van Dijk to a crazy monster contract. Where is this money coming from? Now, I understand they're going to be selling. They've actually got quite a lot of outgoings, which is something that's not really been publicized. I had Grizz, obviously from the Big Six, who came out with a list of names. I was like, oh, you know what? You lot have actually got a decent amount of outgoings, it seems, where they can get really good money. But still, Wirtz, Ekitike, Rodrigo, all in one window. How are you lot moving? That's easily 350 million. Easily. That's pretty mental. So, Liverpool, looking like they're run by a Russian oligarch. Amazing how, karma, innit? What goes around comes around. You're not doing the same thing that we do, yeah? Good to have you at the table, Liverpool. Good to have... I don't want to hear no Chelsea slander from now, the way you lot are moving. And you know what? I respect it. This is how big clubs move. No problem. But I don't want to hear a peep out of you going forward. No one at Liverpool can talk about doing things organically now. No. You lot have gone down our route. And by all means, good luck to you. It's a good route. It works. Trust me, it does. But this would be a mad signing. If Liverpool got Rodrigo, I've got to be honest, we're in trouble, guys. In terms of going and trying to win the Premier League title, it's going to be really, 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 really difficult to snap it off Liverpool. Really difficult. We'll be there, though. We'll try. Now, let me know your thoughts down below. To wrap up, I want to show you something which I hope brings a little bit of joy to all of you. Here it is. Newcastle United make an offer to Brentford for Younes Whissa. Bid worth £25 million rejected by Brentford, but Newcastle pursue ongoing, plus personal terms for 28-year-old forward, no issue if the move evolves. Congo International back in London for talks with club bosses. You know what, Newcastle, I hope you sign him. I'm here praying for you. I hope you sign Whissa, because I want to see you sign a player. Yeah, the amount of rejections that they've had the amount of players that they were linked to. They were linked to Ekitike. They were linked to João Pedro. They were linked to Gyokeres. They were linked to Nunes. They were linked to Mbeumo. They were linked to James Trafford. They were linked to all of these players. The list goes on, and they've not got one through the door. They've lost every single one. I hope you get Whissa. I really do. Please, Newcastle, sign this player. Please. Let's hope. So, praise in the comments. Much appreciated. I'll see all of you there. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe, notification bell on. I'll catch you here tomorrow for another double. Make sure you're here. Catch you then. Take care and peace.